Please be seated. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Honorary Doctor, award holders and guests, it gives me particular pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the Board of London Metropolitan University to this morning's awards ceremony. And let me start by congratulating all those who've achieved their goal today. You and your family and friends may feel justifiably proud of the award you are about to receive, and the university is also very proud of your achievements. The past year has been another significant one for the university. In particular, the university received a very positive report from the Quality Assurance Agency as a result of the audit of our collaborative provision in May. And earlier this month, to great acclaim, the university officially opened its new Science Centre. The centre offers some of the finest facilities in Europe, and the university is proud to be providing a national and international lead to the teaching and research in science in higher education. I would also encourage you to look at the review of the year that you will find in your awards ceremony, and as an illustration of the very wide range and vibrancy of the university's many activities. The university retains the ethos and the values of its predecessors, and it has a commitment to education for both personal development and also social justice. In the midst of change, therefore, we remain committed to our distinctive mission and our student profile. The majority of our students are women, 7 out of 10 are mature, and we have a diverse and broad mix of backgrounds and cultures. And we look forward to further successes to come, and we very much hope that this year's graduates will share in those successes as alumni of London Metropolitan University. Today, however, is a day to celebrate with the recipients of the awards and also with their many families and friends whose support has been so essential to their achievements that we celebrate today. And so I hope you enjoy this morning's ceremony, and I now call upon the Deputy Vice Chancellor to make his address.
Presiding Officer, Your Excellency, Lords, ladies and gentlemen, governors, colleagues, honorary graduands, families and friends, welcome to this, the 5th year of degree ceremonies of London Metropolitan University. It's delightful to see so many graduates and their friends and supporters here today. London Metropolitan is one of the largest universities in the UK, with over 38,000 students from over 150 countries and with some 4,000 staff. Size does matter, but it's important for us always to remember that each of those students, each member of staff, is an individual with his or her own ambitions, hopes and fears, capacities and contribution to make to the university and to the wider community. Equally important is that each student or member of staff is supported by family and friends, so that the university touches the lives of literally hundreds of thousands of people in London, the UK, and worldwide. Our overarching purpose is expressed as shaping London, a world city. That is, reaching and influencing many, many people, helping transform lives and contributing to the success of this great city. Today we celebrate the magnificent achievements of our students, their families and friends in supporting them, and of our staff, ably represented on the platform behind me. They've continued to support our students across the full range of teaching and extracurricular activities, and I know that all of us would like to show our appreciation for their efforts. We are a new university, but built upon much older foundations. Indeed, our predecessor institutions were founded in the 19th century. We're committed to the central notion that human potential in all its diversity is bounded only by social and economic constraints upon its realization. A belief that it is through education that both social change and economic development can be delivered. We express this as education for personal development and social justice. At the core of this is a fundamental belief that regardless of age, ethnicity, nationality, gender, or social class, students should be admitted on the basis of their ability to benefit. This university is committed to preparation of graduates who can make a difference for themselves, for their families, and for their communities, and who, when thinking of their future, never forget their past, who recognize that there is indeed a society of which they are part. In reflecting upon today's graduands, I'm reminded of the lasting impact of the work of Leonardo da Vinci. Born in 1452, Leonardo was undoubtedly the restless genius of the Renaissance, a painter, designer, inventor, engineer, philosopher, and scientist. As a child, he recorded his insatiable curiosity whilst walking in the mountains near his home. Having wandered for some distance among the overhanging rocks, I came to the mouth of a huge cavern, before which, for a time, I remained stupefied. My back bent to an arch in order to see whether I could make out anything inside, though this was almost impossible because of the intense darkness within. And after remaining there for some time, suddenly there awakened in me two emotions, fear and desire. Fear of the dark, threatening cavern, and a desire to see whether there might be anything marvelous in it. That tension between fear and curiosity is something that few of us can manage unaided. I believe that for many of us, our university experience is amongst our most important formative influences, often in ways which only become apparent much later in life. Higher education is about taking risks, intellectual and financial. Few of us can make it entirely on our own. In that spirit, we've already shown our appreciation of the efforts of staff. I now call upon today's graduands to show their appreciation of their family and friends gathered here today who've guided and supported them. Well, I'm sorry, did I catch you by surprise? You're not normally that muted. Let's try again, come on. You've all done extraordinarily well. It must have been difficult at times, but you have succeeded. So in conclusion, I wish all of you every success, and I hope that all of today's graduates will continue to support their university. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aylett. Well, we now turn to a particularly exciting and important part of our ceremony this morning when we acknowledge the contribution to the worldwide art scene of a very famous international ballet dancer, Carlos Acosta, who's sitting on my left. And I will very shortly invite Dr. Aylett to read a citation in respect of Mr. Acosta's achievements. So we're delighted that Mr. Acosta is with us today to receive this honorary award. He is, however, in rehearsal at this moment at Covent Garden, so he tells us that he has to leave fairly soon after this part of the ceremony to return to Covent Garden to take part in some rehearsals. So he unfortunately will be leaving us after this part of the ceremony. But now could I formally call upon the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Dr. Robert Aylett, to present Mr. Carlos Acosta for the award of the degree of Doctor of Letters, Honoris Causa.
Presiding Officer, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, graduands and their guests, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Letters, Honoris Causa, Mr. Carlos Acosta. It Hardly needs saying, Carlos is a world-famous dancer. His vibrant dance technique and the vitality he brings to roles is known throughout the world. Less known, perhaps, is some of the following. He was born in Cuba in 1973. The son of a Cuban truck driver, Carlos's life is the original inspirational rags to riches story, as he defied familiar conservative expectations to capture the heart of the classical ballet world. One of 11 children, Carlos grew up in a cramped Havana apartment, played truant from school, and became a champion breakdancer. The fear of his wayward son becoming a delinquent prompted his father to send him off to ballet school at the age of 9. But Carlos had always dreamed of becoming a footballer and hated ballet. However, his extraordinary natural talent as a dancer was quickly recognized. Carlos began his studies at the National Ballet School of Cuba and was taught by many distinguished teachers, including Ramona de Sá. By the age of 17, he was achieving world acclaim. From 1989 to 1991, Carlos performed throughout the world, guesting with many companies. In the 1991-92 season, he was invited to dance with the English National Ballet in London. In 1992 and 1993, he was a member of the National Ballet of Cuba, rising to principal dancer in 1994. In 1998, Carlos joined the Royal Ballet Covent Garden under the direction of Anthony Dowell. Whilst at Covent Garden, he has danced a wide range of roles, both modern and traditional. During the 2001-2 season, he made his debut as Basilio in Nureyeva's Don Quixote, and in the 2002-3 season, made his debut in the title role in Balanchine's Apollo. Carlos has been a guest artist with the American Ballet Theatre at the Metropolitan Opera House in New York. Over the past few years, Carlos has enjoyed a flourishing career as an international guest artist, appearing in the USA, Russia, Holland, Chile, Argentina, Greece, Japan, Italy, Germany, and France. And in June this year, in perhaps his greatest experience so far, he danced for the Queen in the Royal Gala, which celebrated the 75th anniversary of the Royal Ballet. Carlos has commenced his choreographic career with his much-praised rags to riches story, Tocororo, A Cuban Tale. Following its premiere in Havana in 2002, he sold out Sadler's Wells for 3 weeks in the summer of 2003. His show ran again at Sadler's Wells and at the Birmingham Hippodrome in the summer of 2004. International performances followed in 2005, with the show returning to the Coliseum this summer, hot on the heels of his sellout Carlos Acosta and Friends from the Royal Ballet at Sadler's Wells. He's currently dancing with the Royal Ballet for their 2006-07 season. Carlos Acosta brings life through dance to some of the outstanding qualities of the Cuban spirit. Cuba is a country which is known around the world for its music, its passion, and its sense of independence. Cuba is a nation with a strong spirit and a love for life, qualities which Carlos Acosta embodies in his approach to dancing and choreography. This university has a number of links with Cuba. We advise the Cuban government and Cuban universities on the development of tourism, education and training, and we offer a number of scholarships for Cuban students and have a wide range of scientific and language-related exchange and links with Cuban institutions. Our Institute of Health Research and Policy has a wide range of links with Cuba, and staff from the Institute and from the Department of Health and Human Sciences, some on stage here today, collaborate regularly with Cuban academics. Our links with Cuba have enabled many of us to share our experiences and to learn from others. Carlos Acosta, it is a great honor to have you with us here today. Presiding Officer, I now invite you to confer upon Carlos Acosta the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Metropolitan University, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Letters.
incredible. I mean, this is something that I have seen in movies when they throw their hat in the air. It's incredible. I never thought that anything like that could ever happen to me, and I'm really, really excited. I wish I could, just dance for you or do something, but the floor is very hard and the costume, but anyway, I want to receive this achievement on behalf of my teachers in Cuba, my friends who had helped me to encourage me along my career, and therefore I'm here today. To my country who given me this opportunity to study this art freely. Yeah, I could never forget that. But having said that, I never expected any reward or any medals. In fact, for an artist, the best reward that one could have is the people's applause. But, once in a while it's good to know that what you're doing is causing a positive impact. And after all, men have its own vanities and pride. And so it's great to know, and this is something that I will never forget. And I tell you, from tomorrow on, I'm going to jump higher than ever. I'm going to become my very best, and I'm going to dance with more joy. I'm going to honor this. Thank you.
Well, what an exciting morning, and it's about to get even more exciting for you all. So we now come to the central part of our ceremony this morning, the presentation of individual award holders who will be congratulated on their achievement by me as today's presiding officer. So I therefore call upon the head of the Department of Health and Human Sciences, Dr. Brian Boynton, the head of the London Metropolitan Polymer Centre, Dr. Michael O'Brien, and the head of the Department of Psychology, Professor Stuart Miller, to present candidates for their awards.
Sorry about that. Presiding Officer, Deputy Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen. The awards for the Department of Health and Human Sciences commence with the BSc Honours in Biochemistry. Gemma Elaine Hunter. And Manveer Nasapen. For a preparatory diploma in biology and chemistry, Naira Adil Ahmed. For the BSc in applied consumer psychology, Ayan Elmi. And finally, Mark Allen Finch. For the BSc in Biochemistry, Ephraim Abrakwa Ansa Ado. Aidan Ali Bashir. Natasha Elise Leslie. And finally, for that degree, Sophia Elizabeth Prince. This is one candidate for the BSc Honours in Biological and Medicinal Chemistry, Daniela Mirabile. The BSc Honours in Biological Sciences, Nicholas Asare. And finally, Chatura Anuruddha Vijayasatara. This is another BSc Honours in Biological Sciences. This is Omar Farouk Javed. Abdinur Kansab. Hesse Ejiro Mudanoa. And finally, Emadou Rahim. For the BSc Honours in Biomedical Science, we have Natalie Marlene de Guara, who also is the IBMS Prize receiver. Also for the BSc Biomedical Science, Kashif Mahmood Haider. Susan Chinelo Adoabi Ojukwa. Alma Zapluzusa, who also receives the Oxford University Press Achievement in Biosciences Prize. Samuel Sarprong Antwi Bafur. Chinedu Idioma Chukwuka. Sandra Vicky Alain. Nisha Angelose. Amani El Fayouami. Diabiliero Keto. Ilham Musa. Ceylan Aisha Augusturun. Linda Oluru. Amira Patel. Vian Lawin Yusufi. Milan Bassi. Maxine Jones. Perry McGowan. Azadeh Ferozan. Krishna Patel. And finally, for biomedical science, Janice Sifianyi Chukwu Onwodi. The BSc Honours in Chemistry, Andrew Terence Clark, who also gets the Gerard Prize. Tendai Mutambira, who gets the Molecular Bioscience Prize. Tatiana Arsoba. Idiko Coates, who gets the John Bull Prize for Analytical Chemistry. Kevin Lee Kien Vong. Sivalago Nathan Mayuran. And finally, Anna Giulietta Paolo Caninhas. We have just one candidate for BSc Computational Biology, Luis Fernandez. BSc Honours in Food and Consumer Studies, Kirsty Willis. Orla Mary Gallagher. And finally, Elizabeth Amawumi Idowu. For the BSc Honours in Food Science, Darren Castle, who also receives the Institute of Food Science and Technology Award. Shabir Barmel. And finally for Food Science, Ashad Velsi. The BSc Honours in Forensic and Bioanalytical Science, Rentha Francis. Carrie-Anne Hill. Loretta Helen Ingleton. Fareen Chowdhury. Tanya Marie Dawson. And finally, Ismail Mohammed, can't read the last word, sorry, Mustafa. Monica Kilkaroff for BSc Health Promotion. And finally for Health Promotion, Sharju Begum. This is the BSc Home Economics, Petrula Danielle. And finally, Sharon Williams. BSc Honours in Human Biology, Edouard Piutu Balde. Finally, Samaya Kabari. BSc Honours Human Nutrition, Matthew Lambert. Carmel Marie McLaughlin. Maria Constantinou. Sorry. Charmaine Jane Dunnage, who also receives the Cathy Smallwood Prize for Technology and Mathematics. Simranpreet Gruel. Wendy Marina Hilary Patton. Angela Laughlin. Rebecca Lawson. Marlette Teklesky. And finally, Jean Ann Mohammed. This is the BSc Honours Human Nutrition Dietetics, Donna Karen Ann Ahern. Dominic Dasneves Crispim, who also receives the Linda Clements Award. Coletta Teresa Dornelli. Sorry, that's okay. Sarah Louise Edwards. Kalpana Hussain. Afsha Mughal. Sarah Denise O'Connor. Emma Joanne Parry. Marie Elena Price. Shana Schultz. Bushra Siddiqui. Julie Taplin, who also receives a Food Nutrition Prize. Maria Theochari. Claire Louise Farley. Caroline Julia Mead King. Rabia Nabi. And finally for dietetics, Jojo Sinjo Ui. For the BSc Honours in Microbiology, Amarachukwu Anyogu, but also gets a Biomedical Science Prize. Thank you. Katerina Jocic. Hawa Mohammed. And finally, Sami El Sabahi. This is the BSc Honours in Pharmaceutical Science, Avais Rehan Hussain. Nike Dada. Mabel Frempong Mensah. Patience Rita Marty. Manyank Vijay Kumar Shah. Raola Alabisi Gloria Agotoya Alanyi. Sarah Ada Mohammed. Daisy Mutsad Zora. Sorry, that was the last pharmaceutical science student. Now for the BSc Honours in Pharmacology, Donjetta Zogi. And finally, Susanna Naomi Joshua. Now come to the BSc Honours in Sports Science, Darren Martin Hardy-Shepherd. Daniel Yates. Yukiko Kamei Munde. And finally for that degree, Manzurul Manan. This is the BSc Honours in Sports Therapy, David James Barrett, who also gets the Sports Science Prize. John Stephen Chambers. Russell Batchelor. Jenna Louise Bainham. Raymond Brown. Lucy Stephanie Goss. Alison Ruth Greenhouse. Sally Ellen Gribben. Anna Claudia Pedrosa de Cavallo. Kevin Philip George. Kirsty Louise Barden. And the final sports therapy student, Emma Simone Antoinette Lowe. First of our MSc students, MSc Biomedical Science for Gemma Jimenez. Mesfin Hailu Dikir. Indrani Dukaran. Tracy Yi Mai Lee. Bemu Rose Osar. Paulina Smadzinski. Sorry, we appear to have gone on to MSc Fluid Science, and could I also say that Paulina got a distinction? So again for MSc Fluid Science, Emmanuel Quar. Thank you. Dominga Martins Odebunmi. Nadia Hassan. Olady Marufa Longe. Sathya Prasad Madasani. Falusu Oyedeli Ologunge Bedi. And finally for Food Science, Ronki Jacqueline Shona. The MSc Human Nutrition Public Health, Triantaphilos Pliakis. May Al-Mudaffar. And finally, Maria Adejoki Apaniran. For the MSc Human Nutrition Sports, MSc with merit for Zoe Maraki. And finally for Sarah Elizabeth Allen. Now we have the MSc Human Nutrition and Dietetics, Rebecca Harrex. Joanna Radelovich. Charlene Shonai. And finally, Tatiana Tsikuro. We have just one graduate for the MSc Pharmaceutical Science, Zainab Bouzaboudjan. And the final candidate for the School of Health and Human Sciences is the only graduate for the MSc Sport and Exercise Science. It's Jason Paul Collinson. These are awards, Mr. Chairman.
Presiding Officer, Deputy Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, the awards of the London Metropolitan Polymer Centre will commence with the award of the Higher National Certificate in Polymer Engineering. There is one student for this award. Hang on a minute. Simon Mallet, who also received the School BTEC Award. Now we move on to the BSc Polymer Engineering, Yasser Haider Arain. Craig Anthony Galton. Craig received a first-class degree and was awarded the Institute of Materials Prize. Salman Hassin. Neil Jones. Don Lau Sharman, Nilanthi Mudrawala. Waka Zia Khan. Chimpika Pradeep Vithanaj. And that concludes the awards for the BEng Polymer Engineering. For the BSc Polymer Science and Engineering, Angela Dawson. Angela also received the European Rubber Journal Prize and the T.J. Jakely Prize. Karina Eugenia Hernandez. Karina also received the Lord Memorial Prize. Olamide Ojo Aratakai, who also received the Esso Chemical Prize. Tommaso Battalucci. Hitesh Shimund Kumar Gudave. Usman Raza Khalid. Sanket Kujigbai Desai. Kuram Hussain. Shahul Hamid Jifri Karim. And finally, Ruham Rugham. Presiding Officer, that concludes the presentations for the London Metropolitan Polymer Centre. Thank you.
Presiding Officer, Deputy Vice Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, the awards for the Department of Psychology commence with Bachelor of Science with Honours in Applied Psychology, Dina Amara. Alison Darby. Jodine Murphy. Rida Begum. Amandip Kaur Brar. Sophia Elizabeth Ingram. Charlene Annette Matthews. Henna Fatima Nadim. Shireen Nelson. Parishma Patel. And finally, Caroline O'Boys. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Psychology, with First Class Honours, Lena Eliasson. Vicky Planson, who also receives the British Psychological Society Undergraduate Award at London Metropolitan University. Zainab Omar Arafat Al-Sharif. Yolanda Fernandez. Barbara Hadib. Samantha Margaret Kelly. Cherie Schoen. Ian McCune Stewart. Rosina Thacci. Mzgani Emmanuel. Bertilla Anandaraja. Lydia Askodom. Rosna Begun. Mandi Kaur Bogal. Elizabeth Helen Cousins. Jennifer Catherine Dawkins. Victoria Jane Goss. Gorawan Guntawong. Marina Copagna. Lisa McMahon. Valbona Magini. Jennifer van der Plas. Kiara Wild. And finally, Crystal Wilson. Oh, not finished. Jennifer Suzanne Steers. And finally, Sharon Deep Kaur Desai. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Psychology and Combined Studies, Anthony McIntosh. Robert Ottaviani. Graduate Conversion Diploma in Psychology, with distinction, Tracy Norbury. With distinction, Karen Jane Ryderer. Maria Patricia Blakemore. Caroline Suzanne Elliott. Alexandra Featherman. Nazira Hayat. Julia Hennessy. Helen Wai Long Wong. And finally, Jagruti Mulji. Graduate Conversion Diploma in Psychology, Melanie Jean Danforth. Charlotte Elizabeth Paddock. Samantha Jane Paddock. With distinction, Sasha Povey. With distinction, Anna Denise Ridgewell. Victoria Louise Sear. Master of Arts in Integrative Arts Psychotherapy, Deborah Jean Cecilia Kelly. Donna Ambler. Amanda Bloom. Deirdre Daphne Correa. Joanne Rita Eckholt. Frances Kathleen Friswell. Beatrice Claire Nicholson. And finally, Elizabeth Sarah Strain. Master of Arts in Integrative Child Psychotherapy, with distinction, Paul Harris. With distinction, Stuart John Lane. With distinction, Rosemary Ann Maxwell. With distinction, Antonella Russo. And finally, Elizabeth Aurea Wickham. And we have one candidate for the Master of Arts in Psychoanalysis and Culture, Elizabeth Ann Fowler. Master of Science in Business Psychology, Katrina Maria Bauer, with distinction. With distinction, Andrew Lecoudeur. With distinction, Andrea Metherell. Adina Tari. Michael Kofteros. And finally, Sonia Samuels. Master of Science in Cognitive Behaviour Therapy, Deborah Sheila Bruin. Elizabeth Jean Dolman. Christina Gianna Coppolou. Joseph Jacobus Landsberg. Francis Nelson Nuama. Mina Spatha. And finally, Fatima Zaman. Master of Science in Counselling Psychology, Simon Andrew Blaisby. Charlotte Bow. Nicola Lisa Burns. Una Gainan. And finally, Paraskivi Karavanu. Master of Science in Forensic Psychology, Alice Mary Sheen. Christine Abdul Sayed. Susanna Crank. Nadra Gadid. Cara Holman. Michelle Savage. And finally, France Petrie. Master of Science in Health Psychology, with distinction, Lina Kagram. With distinction, Gemma Kate Randall. Samantha Lisa Hashmi. Arti Patel. Vicky Louise Smith. And finally, Jessica Louise Sutton. Master of Science in Occupational Psychology, Vona Ann Harasim. With distinction. And with distinction, Richard Murray. Rosane Sandashika Kure. Nicola Josephs. Kenneth Rowley. Emma Trenier. Charles Cameron Brooks. Eleni Chatsi Gregorio. Emma Harding. Anita Kela. Asha Mistry. Douglas O'Gorman. Naomi Francesca Rawson. Leslie Ann Ryan. Tara Vasudevan. Laura Joanne Voss. And finally, Noreen Asia Hussain. Advanced Practitioner Diploma in Counselling Psychology, Sheila Jane Kazim. Valerie Frances Emmett. Malgorzata Fija Koch. Lina Angelica Leung Rosek. And finally, Wendy Whip. Practitioner Doctorate in Counselling Psychology, Jacqueline Cahill. Practitioner Doctorate in Counselling Psychology, Loretta Jane Sartorio. And finally, Practitioner Doctorate in Counselling Psychology, Gail Kimberley Smith. Presiding Officer, that concludes the presentations for the Department of Psychology.
Thank you all very much for participating so warmly in greeting our graduands today. But I think it's probably now the time of the graduands to give their own vote of thanks, not only to the staff behind me, who I know they're greatly indebted to, but all the family and friends who've come today to support them. So can I ask all our successful candidates, please, to show a great applause and thanks to their families. So I think a final congratulations from me to everybody, and we do hope you'll keep contact with the university as an alumni of London Metropolitan University, and we look forward to keeping in touch with you. We wish you every success in your future careers if you're now leaving the university, and we do hope your time here will create a very good foundation for your future life and career. So congratulations once again. The day hasn't ended because there is the opportunity for refreshments after the occasion at the back of the hall, but we've now come to the end of the formal part of today, so please enjoy the rest of the day, and could I please now ask you to stand while the party leaves the stage. Thank you.